Okay, so good morning once again. Now we will be discussing now the part 2 of this chapter, no? The salesman's responsibilities, duties and qualifications. Okay? So we will be continuing no, with the 5 P's of successful selling. Kung sa marketing, meron tayo yung 4 P's. We have naman yung 5 P's in salesmanship on how to make a successful selling. Okay, so let's discuss the 5 P's. Now, the first P is prospecting. Okay, now what do we mean by prospecting? Before deciding which prospect to target, kung sino ba yung mga gusto nating bentahan ng product. Now, if you remember, di ba, in our marketing one, we have this concept na tinatawag nating market segmentation. And in market segmentation, it means that we select the specific group of people kung kanino natin ibebenta ang ating product or services. Dahil in reality, our product, hindi mo yan mabebenta sa lahat ng tao. Okay? There would only be a specific group of people who would buy your product to satisfy their needs. Okay? For example, yung laging example ko noon in our marketing one, if my product is napkin, kanino ko ba siya ibibenta? Who would be now the customer segment? Diba? It's the people na babae, female. Sila lang naman ang gumagamit ng product na napkin. It means that I would not waste my time to advertise, to promote my product to the male population. Kasi hindi naman nila gagamitin in the first place. And that is the concept of customer segmentation, which is gagamitin natin sa number 1 P ng successful selling, which is prospecting. Again, before deciding which prospect to target, it is best to produce a large number of leads from which to select the best customers. Okay? And when we say leads, we identify which customers are interested to buy our product. Again, first P, prospecting. Selecting the specific group of people who would want to buy our product. Of course, based on their needs. Second P, balik tayo dun sa prospecting. Using the categories to determine to be a suitable fit for the business. Salesmen need to choose which sources on the list are appropriate for them to use to build a list of leads. Dahil our customers, diba, they have the need. Hindi naman yan basta-basta ang lalapit sa atin. That's why we have to build a list of leads. Saan natin makikita yung mga tao that would want to buy our product. So we have here from referrals, from former clients who have tried and tested our products and were satisfied, even from our competitors, di ba? That is why sometimes we observe yung ating mga kalaban, mga katunggali, di ba, in business. Dahil we want to observe their customers as well. Because their customers, most probably, would be our prospect customers din. What else? In sales intelligence tools, now this is becoming popular in online, yung analytics, na business analytics. Now, if you put up your Facebook page, meron kayong analytics doon, where you can see yung percentage of leads, percentage of reach, yung ilang tao yung nakakita ng post nyo, etc. These are sales intelligence tools. Again, going back to Facebook, diba, social media, those who like and share our posts, syempre, in connection to our business, the mga business posts natin, those are possible customers. Google Apps, we have now yung Google Business, which is a fairly new, not entirely new, but a fairly new Google app na maganda siya gamitin for businesses. LinkedIn, are you using LinkedIn? No? LinkedIn po, these are a social media, but it is for professionals. Doon nyo makikita yung mga list of doctors, mga attorneys, mga other types of professional in your area. And pwede kayong makapag-friend, pwede kayong, even you can post jobs, even look for jobs, pwede sa LinkedIn. Again, LinkedIn it works like Facebook, pero on the professional side. And we have relationship marketing, yung mga kakilala nyo, yung mga business partners nyo, or mga even family, no, na pwedeng pagkuhanan ng prospect customers. Ayan. Again, first P, prospect. We identify those who would probably buy our product. Okay, so dun tayo sa second P, no? Persistence. Ayan, persistence. Be persistent to break through and connect with a prospect. There is no magic approach or number of tries that will work for all prospects. Diba? However, research shows that most sellers give up before they make enough attempts to set up an appointment. Okay. A good example na maiisip natin for persistence is those who offer yung insurance products. Bakit? Kasi, well, prospect nila would be everyone. Kasi everyone, I believe, no, needs insurance. Health insurance, life insurance, etc. Now, kung mapapansin nyo dito sa ating mga agents, itong mga insurance agents, sometimes makulit sila. Diba? Yun yung tinatawag natin na persistence. Kasi they would want to communicate again and again and again. Diba? Persuade the potential customer to buy yung kanilang insurance products. Okay? They will never give up until they will make that customer realize that the insurance is good for them. Yun yung tinatawag natin na persistence. That's why we have to try and try and try again to sell the product. Some entrepreneurs, tulad nga nito, however, research shows that most sellers give up before they make enough attempts. Nag-give up na sila, hindi pa nila na-persuade yung potential customer. Okay? Persistence is you have to try and try and try again. Okay? But to the point na syempre hindi kayo masyadong makulit. Kasi sometimes it would be off-putting on the part of the consumer or the customer na masyadong makulit naman tong entrepreneur na to. No? Hindi na ako tinipigilan. No? Again, there is no magic approach or number. Sir, ilang beses po ba namin sila dapat kulitin? No? It depends. Kasi case-to-case basis yan sa mga different types of customers. No? Meron yung mga customers na twice, mapapabili na sila. There are some customers naman na even 10 times ayaw pa rin bumili. Okay? The key is you have to be persistent. Okay, most of the time, no? Averages, it takes 7 to 10 touches over a few weeks, hindi yan sunod-sunod, to stand out enough to get the prospect's attention. Okay? Do not give up after 1 or 2 tries. Okay? If you know that you have a great prospect, if you know that my product or your product would solve the needs and wants of that prospect customer, do not give up. And persistence. Okay, number 3 natin, which I think an important part of the 5 P's of successful selling natin is the fun. If you tried 7 or 10 times over 2 weeks as part of the don't give up process in persistence to set up the first meeting and nothing had happened, okay, ayaw talaga ng customer, nakulitan na sa'yo. It's okay to try again later, maybe a few months later, or you can now remove that person from your prospect list. Okay? Kasi in business naman, di ba, this is a form of a marketing strategy. If ayaw talagang bumili ng customer na yun, pinipilit-pilit natin, syempre, we should not waste any more resources on that person. Tama ba? That's why we remove that person from the list. Ayaw niya nga bumili. And we move to the other person. Okay? That's why yung average natin dito is around 7 to 10 times. Kasi that should be the limit of our efforts to one person. Kung ayaw niyang bumili, let's respect his or her decision. Let's move on to the next prospect. Okay? Yan ang tinatawag nating fun. Okay? Medyo conflicting tong dalawa, no, yung persistence kasi never give up. Tapos pagdating sa fun, no, you give up, you will find another. But then again kasi we also have our limits, especially with our resources. Hindi natin gagastusan ng isang tao na ayaw naman bumili ng ating product. Okay? It would be a waste of time. It would be a waste of money. Let's move on to the next prospect. That is fun. Okay. How about the number 4? Let's say that eventually, that person na pinipilit-pilit natin, gusto nang makipag-meeting sa atin, ayan, he is interested in the products that we are trying to offer. That time, we need to prepare. Okay? Siyempre, we need to prepare our sales pitch. Okay, so what are the things we need to prepare? First is, we need to research the person we are meeting with. Sino ba yung kamit natin na eventually will want to buy our product? Number one na preferable na gamitin natin na pag-search is the LinkedIn. Earlier, di ba sabi ko, LinkedIn works like Facebook, but it is on the professional side. And since this is a professional transaction, business meeting, ang first nating hahanapin is LinkedIn. Pero bakit hindi Facebook? Dahil ang Facebook, okay, aminin na natin, what we post in Facebook would not be a good representation of our professional side. For me, instance, kung babasahin niyo yung mga post ko sa Facebook, parang hindi ako teacher. Tama ba? Kasi nagpo-post ako ng mga jokes, nagpo-post ako ng memes. But if you visit my LinkedIn profile, dun yung makikita yung aking accomplishments, my past employment, past experiences, even my awards, ayan, professional awards, dun ko pinopost. See, again, LinkedIn is on the professional side. But then again, if that person do not have a LinkedIn, dun tayo pupunta sa other social websites, social media websites, as Facebook. Okay? Or even a simple Google search. I-type niyo yung name ng kamit niyo, information about him or her will eventually appear. Okay? After researching the person, we now research the company, yung affiliated yung tao na yun. So we visit their website, so we read their blogs, and follow them in social media to see kung kanyang company or employment is, again, professional ba? Diba? Ayan. Ang point lang naman nito is we do not want to have business deals with people na, if I may say, na hindi naman professional. No? Kasi even if you are a seller, we want to transact with people na maaasahan din o mapagkakatiwalaan or hindi scammer. Even buyers are becoming scammers. Okay, letter C, research their industry online to identify the trends, opportunities, and challenges for that prospect. We must identify now the needs of the prospect. That's why we are trying to offer a solution to that need to our products. That's why we search, ano ba ang kailangan ng tao nito? We must make them realize na during the sales pitch na kailangan nyo po talaga itong product nito. Okay? It will help you to solve your major problem. What else? Another for preparation is to identify the competitors and research them to gain further category knowledge and insight. Eventually, most likely, this person, hindi lang siya nag-iisip ng isang seller. It's a multiple, he would also consider other sellers. That's why we need to identify our competitors. Ano ba yung i-offer nila? The goal is for us to offer a better product. And for us to offer the better product, we must know our competitors' product. What else? Sample the product or take a walkthrough to their physical location if possible. It's best that you bring your product with you. Okay? Develop needs analysis, topics and questions. Determine which topics and questions are essential and which are desirable. You must prepare the possible. We must prepare for the possible questions that the customer might ask. Okay? And of course, we prepare answers na din. Get familiar with terminology from your prospect's industry and how to use it appropriately. Okay? If you are trying to build with, let's say, mga kabataan ngayon, kasi mostly ng entrepreneurs or business people, or even professionals, belongs to the millennial and the Gen Z. Ayan. So, if we are belonging to the older category, yung mga nasa baby boomers, syempre, we must familiarize ourselves with the trends. Dahil the work ethics ng generation today is very different from the work ethics ng dating generation. For example, baby boomers, yung ating mga old-timers, they believe in hard work. Okay? They believe in hard work. Trabaho, overtime, etc., etc. While for millennials, they believe in creative work. Okay? They make creative solutions to make the work faster, more efficient. Okay? Mas gusto nila yung maging creative. Nakita nyo na? A hard worker doing the same thing over and over again versus a creative worker who becomes innovative with their tasks to make their work much more easier. It's a conflicting idea. Okay? But then again, we must take into consideration yung generation ng ating buyers. So we must adjust. Hindi natin pwede pilitin na yung buyer would adjust to our work ethics. And last but not the least, which would be your final requirement for this course, is to create now a proposal. An important part of the sales process is building a proposal with the customer aspect. Okay. Papasadahan ko lang to kasi we will have a deeper discussion on this proposal in the finals. So, ano lang bang nilalaman ng isang proposal? That is your cover page, your desired business result, the measures of success, which includes, of course, yung solving the needs or the economic problem of the customer, tailored solution. Tailored solution is our product or services, critical path, commitment between the seller to the buyer, and appendix, some attachments. And that is the proposal. Again, we will have a deeper discussion on this during finals. So the formula now for successful selling is, of course, the combination of the 5 Ps: prospecting, persistence, hunt, preparation, proposal. And that would be the perfect sale. If you notice, itong salesmanship is one of the most expensive, at the same time, time-consuming type of marketing communication. And I believe it's true. Kasi, di ba, you have to do this 5 individually to each prospect na customer. As compared to advertising, let's say that you put up an advertisement to the television or radio and hundreds of people would watch or view your advertisement. Kagandahan nito, this is personal. Okay? There is a personal touch between the seller and the buyer. Okay? That's why, isa pang kagandahan nito is we can persuade the customer to buy our product. We can tell him what his or her problem is, and we try to offer an economic solution. So there is really a human touch pagdating sa salesmanship. And which I believe, for some, this works better as compared to other marketing communications. Okay? So eventually, if you put up your businesses and want to do salesmanship, never forget these 5 P's of successful selling: the prospecting, persistence, fund, preparation, proposal. And you will now have your perfect sales.